All right, everybody. This is Jason with Cold Crawlers again. And all right, I got my new tires and they got the bead locks. And I wanted to change them out, but during the process, I kind of want to change out the knuckles too. So this, I'll try to make this video as short as possible. Lots of pausing in between, but I will try to put in all the important steps. So first thing I did with these bead locks is took them apart. Okay, and whenever they came partially built, so they only had 3 screws holding them in. So what I did was I decided to vent them, okay? And just from other videos that I've watched, the venting process where there was actually a guy that did a really good job. He did venting and non-venting with the same tires, which, hey, my hat's off to him, took a lot of time. Totally blew me away, totally gonna go vented. So what he did was he even took out the foam inserts. And I mean, these things are not very dense. They're pretty lightweight and everything, but he took them out and he pretty much burned a hole or punched a hole in the top and the bottom, exactly right across from each other on the tire. So, and I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah. So that's what you want. And, so I just took a piece of wire and I've got it hot over this candle here. So what I'm going to do is just going to take you through, because I've already done these 3. I've already vented them and mounted them properly. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one, just kind of show you the step-by-step. So this is how it came. Okay, get that out of there. I was playing around with it earlier. But so that's pretty much how it came with just 3 of them there. So I'll take it apart and then show you what it looks like. Okay, that seriously only took like a few seconds. So you just undo the screws, and then this is the back plate. So it just pops out, and it's aluminum. And then this pops out. You have this in the dead center, and it doesn't weigh anything. If you wanted to add some good solid weight where nobody sees the big rings or anything, I know Endure makes the brass ones, which is pretty cool. Here's your little foam deal, toss. Okay, so now you got your tire. So what I did was I actually mounted the tire back up. So you put this guy in there first. It's kind of hard doing this through a phone. Anyway, I'll pause it and do it again. But what I do is you put this in through first, put your little cap on there, and then just line up your holes. And remember, guys, most important thing is these are tiny screws, tiny threads, aluminum. You're dealing with plastic a lot of times. So these little screws don't give it the onion. Just, snug them, and just whenever you think it's snug enough, that's it. Don't over snug these. All right, so tire is assembled. It just takes a second too. So you can give it a good squeeze and you can feel that it's got air pressure. And, the one thing that I also forgot to mention is these tires are not directionals, but some are. So pay attention to how they need to be mounted and the orientation on your vehicle, because it would suck to have them on wrong and have to redo this whole mounting stuff. So it's not that bad. But anyway, so now I'm just going to take this little hot iron piece here and just pierce it and kind of work it around a little bit. I kind of ream it out with a little bit of a screwdriver. What you want is just whenever you're done is it reinflates. You have a little bit of integrity. These sidewalls are super thin. When you take these tires apart, you're like, holy crap. But they have enough to do it. So I'll go ahead and do that. It's just too hard to do it holding a phone. So while I'm waiting for my little iron to heat up again, the other tip that I forgot to mention is whenever you go to pierce the hole, just squeeze on the sidewall like this and then just go right in between the tread. You won't burn yourself. It doesn't really even stink that bad. But see, whenever I've punctured the one hole, you can see that it's not all the way through, so it needs some reaming, because now your tire's kind of acting jacked up a little bit, and it's doing weird stuff. But whenever you properly get it vented top and bottom, it will function just like these, I promise. So just don't get discouraged, just keep on working on it. And there we go. I had to burn it probably about 2 or 3 times, but there you have it. Just kind of ream that hole out a little bit. The people that have the little leather punch, they use the smallest setting and they just actually take a chunk out of it. That's probably the best way to go, but I just don't have one handy, so yep, just go ahead and burn it. So now that's how you ventilate your set of tires. And so now we'll move on to the knuckle here. So I've already loosened this lug nut, so I just take it off by finger, and then the tire slides off. All right, and then you're left with this little nut here. And I'm probably going to use the these widening nuts here. As you can see there, let's put them in my hand. They're quite a bit wider. I'd say probably twice as wide. And I kind of just played around with it just to see if that's something that I would want to do during this. And, you know, it probably is. The phone won't focus. But, yeah, so I'm probably going to end up adding the widening to it because, one, these Broncos are very top heavy and they want to tip real easy. So if we can widen the base even just a little bit, then this should definitely help. So, and then these tires right here that I got, they're a little bit bigger than stock. Not a whole lot. I mean, they cover it, and you can feel probably about 1.5 millimeters all the way around on each side bigger. So probably a total of 3 millimeters bigger, but not a big deal. But so, you know, you have your little bearing in here. Unless you bought a bearing pack, you're definitely going to want to save that again for your knuckles. And some of the knuckles I've seen online, they have the R and the L in them, and these do not. So you just want to pay attention and just see where this little arm is more up towards the top, and this one is also towards the top a little bit. So this is definitely my right side, and then the this will be the left side, driver's side. So just kind of pre-orient them. Anytime that you have to knock bearings out and stuff, just be extremely careful. Take your time. If you don't have a bearing puller, yeah, just be very careful. And like I say, over-tightening screws, but we'll get there. All right, so here we are. I took out the bottom screw that is right here on the very bottom of your little knuckle. So you got a bottom screw, and then you have a top screw, okay? And then you have a little linkage screw, which is your little ball linkage up here. So I know this is just snowballing. I think when we do this whole thing, we're going to change these arms out too, because we have the new aluminum ones. And what the hell, we have it halfway tore apart anyways. But so if you look inside here on part of your front little axle deal, you have that little bar. And it's important that you make sure that that stays pretty level, and will line right back up with this little slot. All right, so you got that little slot there. It'll slide in there and everything's good to go. So now we need to just push that out, and we have bearings on each side. So you want to get on one side and push it through, and push the other one out too, and just do it gently. If you have to tap, do whatever, but just do it as gentle as you can. You don't want to damage these bearings because we have to reuse them, like I said, unless you bought a kit, upgrades, whatever. All right, so bearings pushed out super easy. I just used this little Allen wrench. I just went in and they just popped right out, both of them. So we're pretty good. I'm going to take the new steering knuckle, and we're going to put them in it. Okay, so another thing I forgot I was going to do is compare weights of old versus new. So since it's very fair, they are completely stripped down. The factory plastic one is 0.88 grams. And the replacement one is a whopping 8 grams on the money even. Wow. So you are gaining quite a bit of front end weight just with this that has no bearings in it. And it doesn't even have the bushings in it yet. So you're going to have 2 brass bushings, top and bottom, plus the heavier duty hardware, which is stainless. And it has weighed more than the regular steel every single time. So then also we're replacing this nut, which is 0.14 grams, to a 0.65. So huge improvement on front end weight. So if you guys are running the deadbolt, which a couple of my buddies are, and they're kind of having a problem with it nosing, being nose heavy coming down hills and stuff. So this may not be an upgrade that you want to do unless you do something to counterbalance it. Like I was saying, these bigger batteries, they're much heavier. I'll probably, whenever I do a battery review, I'll weigh the stock battery to one of those. So yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the bearings back in it and reassemble. All right, so the good thing about me pausing this and going back to it finished is you don't have to hear me dropping all the F-bombs whenever I drop all these little teeny parts and have to find them in my carpet. So now that I've got everything aligned, it moves really nice, moves freely, so you don't want to over tighten anything. Bearings went in just like a dream. So I may hold off actually on doing the aluminum linkage just because I kind of wanted to do that video maybe separate, just where I'm doing the kit. So not a big deal. That'll probably be just a few seconds. But anyway, so now we're going to slide this new little bugger back on there. Oh yeah, and so then you just you can either use your old pin, or it came with some new pins right here, and they look exactly the same. So I'm just going to save those and I'll use this new pin, and it'll just slide in through the little hole in the shaft there, and then we'll just slide the cap right on the slot right over it, and then we should be able to mount the tire directly onto that. You'll see how that fits inside there. So then that will just fit just like that. And then it does come with different nuts. See, it comes with two styles in this kit. It comes with this little black one for if you're not going to run the spacer, and then it comes with these little aluminum doohickeys if you are going to run the spacer, which we are. So little black nut, we're going to just skip you for now. So we'll have a spare. So that'll be our deal, and I will go ahead and start assembling. All right, so I decided to just go ahead and show that. So I put that little pin through the hole, and then that just slides right on there, and then that's what causes your wheel to turn. So there's that. I kind of need to get something to hold my phone, or pay one of my kids $1 to do something for me here. So anyway, I'll pause it again, mount the tire, tighten this little lug thing. Okay, so we are running into a problem that I forgot we may run into. The threads on this screw, your stock screw, and this, a lot of people are saying that they're not compatible, and once you start going, if it gets tight, you'll snap the screw, and then you are screwed. Okay, so I started to feel a lot of resistance, stopped, backed it out. I only got about maybe 3 turns into it. So we stopped, so I decided it's time to break out the Coda racing linkage and little steering arms. So we're going to try that, and it came with some different screws. Hopefully those will work. If not, we will see. All right, and we're back. And just to be fair, we're going to measure. The factory one is 2.02 grams, and that's including all the hardware. And so with this Coda Racing one, I ended up putting the hardware in it too. So yeah, there's a little bit of grammage gain there. So not a whole lot, not terribly heavier, but just more front end weight, I guess. Okay, so that is some pretty weird crap right there. So I don't know what it was, but the Coda Racing ones went right in. And the one up here on the servo to the linkage, it went right in. So WTF, don't know, whatever. So now we've got that side done. I'm going to go ahead and take this tire off and do the other side so we can just attach it all at once. What a pain in my butt. Okay, so we got everything hooked up, and another problem that I ran into, which I kind of figured we would, is your servo losing its home, or it's like 0. Sorry, you're getting blinded here. I'm just trying to operate everything with 2 hands. So whenever you try to turn it, it's already maxed out one way. All right, let's see. if it turns both ways. So easy fix. We just have to unhook our little servo arm here, and then we will find the 0 position with nothing connected to it, and then we will reattach this little arm, and then everything should be good. All right, so also the bumper was in the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and just flip these little arms, just pretty much swap them almost exactly like that, rebolt everything up, and it will move the bumper back up into place, sealing the gap between that bumper and the body. So anyway, I'm going to pull this off to get to that little guy there. So see you in a sec. All right, so to finish up, we got everything mounted back up. Linkage and everything looks good. I'm going to hook the bumper back up. I'm still debating. I might just do like one screw just to see if it affects the like my tires whenever I'm doing the crawl, if I should put them up or just leave it. Like I said, I got plenty of weight now for my top heaviness. Anyway, so as you can see, I didn't do the back tires, just to kind of show you a comparison of how much more stick out you get from stock. So I mean, there's stock and there's with the extensions. So you know, it's quite a bit. So you get a definite upgrade right there, just getting those little spacers, and they add some weight. So but yeah, I'm gonna play around with the little bumper here and see if I want to put it up high or low. Probably gonna end up high, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, so new rims, tires. Oh, and most important thing, do not over snug your lug nut here, the big one. So a lot of people in the videos are saying, oh, I just installed my my new tires. Are they too heavy for my motor? Motor's getting hot, everything else is getting hot. No, a lot of the problems is that you just over tighten this and you're seizing everything up. And so whenever, like I say, you know, just, you know, I mean, everything should just move freely. And oh, there's my little arms for the bumper. But yeah, everything should just move freely, and that way you don't burn stuff up. So all right, anyway, that was changing the knuckles and the bead lock venting and putting on an extension on the front, I guess. So we will return for more. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.